right, tonight I'm joined by USFL offensive lineman Sean Brown, now of the Pittsburgh Maulers. A little sad to see him go. As you can see in the background, I'm a Stars fan, but now he's signed with the Maulers. But he's got an interesting story. He's played in basically every major football league to grace America over the past basically 7 seasons, more or less. So I wanted to get you on here because you've got a wealth of knowledge that we can kind of pick your brain on tonight. How are you doing so far tonight?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing fantastic, man. I wish I could eat something. I'm kind of fasting right now. I've been juicing for the last week now, just straight juices like carrot juice mixed with kale and strawberry. So basically, I'm not eating any solid foods other than fruit right now for the next week. Just I'm coming a little different this season. I'm training different, so I'm just getting everything. What's the word? Just getting in better shape, honestly. So.
Gotcha. If you don't mind me asking, what prompted the change in your training?
I mean, I just feel like everything should change. I just feel like I'm, changing new scenery. I think I need to change. I need, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I just need to do things differently. I just want to, I want to play at a certain weight this year. I want to really just dominate and just get back to how, I was a few years ago. So that's where I'm at with it.
That makes sense. So one of the first questions I wanted to ask you is, obviously I mentioned it in my preamble there. You just signed with the Maulers. This is your 3rd season in the USFL. But we kind of talked about this off camera. You've got a ton of ties over in the XFL, whether it's Randy Mueller with the Seattle Sea Dragons, or Jose Jefferson over there with San Antonio, or Joey Klingsales over there with Vegas. What prompted you to choose to stick with the USFL side of things for 2024?
Honestly, it was really close. So, after my first year with the USFL, after we lost in the championship, it was we were getting close to the end where I had to either pick up my option to sign or just let it go out and go to the XFL. And honestly, nobody really knows this, but me and my agent. But I was going to sign to an XFL team, but what happened was, they just weren't responding fast enough for me, and I didn't want to just jump ship and say, you know what, I'm gonna go to XFL. But then, as soon as I promise you, I think as soon as I re-signed back with the Stars, I had like 4 teams that hit me like, "Oh, are you ready?" And I was just like, "Yeah, man, I just signed back." Like they was like, because they had me on the draft board. I was actually going to Vegas. I was on the draft board to go to Vegas. Like I was going there. Like that's where I was going. Like by choice, no, but it didn't really matter to me. To be honest, if I had a choice to go somewhere, I probably would have went with Randy, man. Randy's my guy. Randy Mueller. But Vegas definitely had my rights. But yeah, I couldn't even go because I signed and then yeah. But like I said, though, if I literally waited like a few days or a week later, I would have played in the XFL this year. For sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was not expecting you to get that answer, but
yeah,
perfect sense. Like I said, you've got connections with most of the teams in the XFL, so I anticipated that you had some interest over there. Of course, they know what they're getting in you, so it makes a lot of sense. But
especially over there in Orlando, also. I had some ties over there in Orlando. When the old receiver coach was the receiver coach. For the AAF and Salt Lake. So and it's crazy. I didn't even realize that I knew guys in Vegas too. Till you just said it, I just reminded myself like, dang, that's crazy. I didn't even really realize that. It's so funny. Yeah, but that's cool.
Yeah, and obviously you would have known Brian Scott there at first as well. So there was a couple other Stars players that ended up in the USFL. The XFL, excuse me. So definitely interesting how that would have all worked out had it happened. But so obviously the other big question at hand is, you played the last 2 seasons under with the Philadelphia Stars under your head coach that was running Team 9 when you first got to the XFL, and Bart Andrews. What led you to ultimately choose to sign with the Maulers for 2024?
I just needed something new. To be honest, my last year, it just didn't work out on both ends, with me or the coaches, for me not starting or, playing as much as I usually play. So I just needed something, somewhere new to go, a new start. And the Maulers definitely, they needed, pieces on the offense for sure. And I know a lot of the guys on that team. I just feel comfortable, what's going on over there. And I'm very excited to, to see what's going on. A lot of people. I mean, last night I just spoke to T. Will last night, the quarterback. So I just I reached out to him and just introduced myself and just to let him know who I am and how I am as a person. Actually reached out to Trey, the new running back. I reached out to him too. So I mean, that's just who I am. I'm gonna reach out to some guys just to let them, the ones who don't know me, just to let them know who I am, and and then when we get to camp, we just get to camp, so everything can just be organic. So I'm excited, very excited for this season, and I'm excited to see what they do with this merger thing. I'm very I just been sitting here waiting, so I'm very excited about that also.
Hey, well, that was going to be one of my questions. I mean, if you had your ideal scenario from this merger, what would it look like to you?
I mean, to be honest with you, I would prefer. I mean, I'm gonna give you two answers. On my side, I would prefer it. All 16 teams. And the main reason is because I just think it's unfair for guys to lose jobs, coaches and players. For example, they keep giving all these scenarios, these guys. But if you think about it, if they cut 4 teams, that's over 200 guys losing jobs. That's staff members, players, and coaches. But on the business side of it, because I do a lot of business, I would say, for money wise sake, I would do anywhere from 12 to 16. And the reason being is that because I understand, USFL slow plays everything, and I honestly respect it. At first I'm like, this hub thing. I'm like, what's up with this hub thing? But the hub thing is very smart. It saves money. Of course, there's some things that we could change, but I love the whole structure of it. And I love where it's going, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Within the next few years, even after I'm done playing football, I'm very excited. I still want to be a part of it somehow, some way, somehow after I'm done playing. So I'm very excited to see where it goes in these next few years.
Absolutely. Makes perfect sense. I mean, it's going to shake up the landscape of alternative football for sure.
But I also think it's going to speed up the clock for the NFL to come in and really officially make this the D League for the NFL. Because before they were like, oh, should we go XFL, USFL? But now that it's definitely going to end up merging, now it just makes it better. For the NFL to come and say, you know what, man, we're going to make this an actual D League for the league. And believe it or not, the NFL is not going to say it, but the NFL, uses a lot of the rules that we have now, especially on the special teams now, which is very intriguing. It's fun, And I had a little prophecy to myself one day. I said, I think in a few years, what's going to happen is, like with the NFL draft, they're going to have a draft, and I think the guys who go low or low, or no matter of fact, from 5th, 6th, 7th round, they're going to end up going to the USFL, and they're going to end up start taking more USFL, XFL guys, so they can bring them in because they're already ready. With those other guys that you're drafting those later rounds, you just send them here instead of just throwing them on the practice squad and they're not playing at all. They're just going to end up putting them in the spring league, which is also a good thing too, because it's a lot of talent out here, and I think honestly, to me, this league is really mainly for offensive linemen and D linemen. I mean, but it's crazy because a lot of other positions actually get picked up more than offensive line and D linemen. But NFL is having a tough time with producing great O linemen. It's not easy as everybody thinks to produce a very, very good offensive lineman. So with that being said, the development for offensive line is going to grow in this league very fast.
I would 100% agree. And I tell guys all the time, that play indoor football and stuff like that they are the valuable position. Everybody needs offensive line. You talk to any coach, they're like, I want offensive linemen. That's the first thing on their mind all the time for good reason. I mean, you can have the best skill position players in the world, but it's going to fall apart if you don't have a solid offensive line in front of them.
Yeah, definitely.
So obviously you have a unique perspective. You've played in the AFL, the IFL, the Spring League, the XFL, the AAF, and now the USFL. How does the USFL stack up in terms of their long-term view from a player's perspective? I mean, do you think they're going to be around for the long haul?
Of course, just off the fact of consistency. They're consistent with every year getting better, every year bringing better talent. and just developing, like I said, slow playing it, which, you know, some guys won't understand. I know I didn't understand at first, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, I see what they're doing. And that was another major thing for me. I'm like, dang, do I want to go back into the XFL? And like I said, I was gonna go, but those are one of the things I was playing in my head, like, you know, because I was actually in the USFL and I'm seeing what they're doing slowly but surely, and I'm just like, okay. And we have a great president, you know, Daryl's great, man. Moose is great, we got a lot of good people in the front office. You know, it's a lot of good coaches out there. And it's not just for us, too. It's for the coaches, too. A lot of these coaches need second chances, third chances also. You know, they just never had the opportunity to really coach what they really wanted to coach. And now they're getting the opportunity to do so. And it's showcasing now. You know, how can you say no to, like, you know, the Birmingham coach soon in the next year or two with his resume? You know, how do you say no to the young GM with Zach over there in Birmingham, you know, with his resume now, and bringing all those players and they win a championship 2 years in a row? You know, it's just, you know, how do you say no to things like that? You know, so, you know, the consistency is definitely there, and I think it's going to keep growing.
100%. So we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about the coaching you received. How important was the relationship you had with Bart Andrews prior to the USFL in getting you over to the USFL draft in 2022?
I mean, it was definitely important for me and Bart, honestly, because when I got my chance with the Team 9, and a lot of people don't know this, but I'm gonna say it, but the reason why I even got to Team 9 was, other than Bart, was because of Randy. Me and Randy never lost contact. You know, I text Randy, hey, Randy, man, I need this opportunity. I don't know what Randy did. Randy made a call or two. Next thing you know, he's texting me like, hey, man, I got you. You know, I got you a private workout in Arlington. And, you know, and I think I had like a week or two. I said, it was like a week, I think. And then like the next week, he just said, just do what you got to do. And I went there and did what I did what I had to do. And it was so funny. I was signed to at the time I was signed to, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I just signed to Arizona, the Arizona Rattlers. I'm like, if I don't get nothing, I'm gonna just go to Arizona. So I signed to Arizona. I didn't tell them I had a private workout. I went to the private workout. I killed the private workout. I met I don't even know if it was I met a reporter at the airport on the way home. And I was talking to them, and as I'm talking to them, I get a text from player personnel like, "Hey, Sean, are you still here?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Well, we need you to come back. We're about to sign you to Team 9." I was like, "Whoa. I need to go home and grab some of my stuff." You know, so as I'm talking, I'm telling the reporter that. So then they gave me the time. They let me go home. So I get on a plane. As soon as I get on the plane and I get home, I get a text from the Rattlers like, "Hey, man, you didn't tell us you had a private workout." Like, it was, they was a little pissed about that. And I was like, "Nah, I didn't." And then they end up trading my rights to the Blizzard in the IFL, and I didn't even know until like months, like probably like a month later. But anyway, I went home, packed up for one day, went right back to Team 9. That's when I met Coach Bart. Well, I met Coach Bart to try, but that's when I really got to know Coach Bart. And I did what I had to do. I listened, I learned, and then I ended up going to LA. LA picked up my rights. But Coach Bart has always been understanding. Coach Bart, he's been coaching in these leagues for years, man, even in the NFL. So Coach Bart is definitely a great coach.
Absolutely. I mean, it seems like you must have had a good relationship with him, because you ended up under him in the spring league with the Generals, and then you end up with the Stars as well. So kind of interesting how you've kind of bounced around underneath him for a couple of years here now. So speaking of, I mean, basically the indoor football leagues, which we kind of touched on a little bit ago. I mean, originally you started at Nassau Community College. You end up graduating from Mississippi Valley State.
Right.
If not for your time at Mississippi, do you believe you get the call from the IFL in the beginning?
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I honestly, we can even go pat before that. When I was at Nassau, I was really originally I was supposed to go to Syracuse. I mean, a lot of people don't know that I was going to Syracuse, and at the time, Syracuse were putting offensive linemen in the league left and right. So I think if I'd have went to Syracuse and did what I had to, I mean, it's a long shot to say, but and I was probably like around their second or third year in the ACC. or something like that. And yeah, I think honestly, I really feel like I would have just got a bigger chance. I went straight to the league, honestly, because they was putting offensive linemen left or right straight in the league and the Syracuse. But I'm gonna be honest. But when I went to Mississippi Valley, it was a great experience. You know, I learned a lot, and what I learned was just a lot of mental toughness there. And at the Mississippi Valley, I mean, I had NFL teams calling left and right. Like it was a lot of teams calling, but the only thing that messed me up was my pro day. We didn't have a pro day. You know, I was clocking good times and everything, but we just didn't have a pro day. And honestly, it was the Jets, Patriots, and the Seahawks that was really on me a lot, especially the Patriots, because the Patriots was very excited for some reason and intrigued that I played lacrosse. So they was like, "You play lacrosse?" They was like, "Oh, Coach Belichick loves lacrosse," and I was like, "Yeah." They was like, "Yeah." Like they was more intrigued by me playing lacrosse than football at one point. It was so intriguing. Um, so then I end up, like I said, I end up figuring it out, and then I got a call to go to the. I went to the Green Bay Blizzard. I didn't go to Colorado first. I went to the Green Bay Blizzard, and I was first time ever playing. I thought I was good enough to start, even though O-line coach thought I was going to start. Next thing you know, they cut me, and then they was like, "Hold on, we're not gonna cut him." Then they traded me to Colorado, and then that's when I met Marv and Coach Jose and Coach Ware. And me and Coach Ware really speak like every day. Like we speak every day. And to be honest, if it wasn't for all those coaches play a role, but Coach Ware played a super role and especially in my life and my development. Coach Ware, a lot of people don't know, is the most anal coach you will ever meet in your life, ever. I'll make a great play, pancake somebody. He's like, "Man, you did great, but look at your feet. Like your feet is here. Like you're 6 inches too far this way. Like every time." So he literally. That's how I am now in film. I don't really get excited about what I do to people in film, because at the end of the day, that he taught me that you're supposed to do that. So I look at film and I'm looking at how like what I did wrong, like how I can get my hands better, how I can get my hands faster. How recognizing a play early. It just I'm shooting that. It takes me some time with one play to finish in 10 minutes, just one play. Because I watch myself over and over. I watch the defender. I watch the whole O line. I'm watching everything over and over and over. So that and I get that from him. I wouldn't even sit here and take away his flowers right there. But he knows that though. We speak every day. So yeah.
Well, hopefully we can get Damon Ware on here at some point as well. Former CSU Pueblo guy, so I always root for him.
I'm
No
gonna
matter
tell
where
him.
he
I'm gonna
goes.
tell him tomorrow, man. I'm gonna tell him to tap in with you. I'm pretty sure he'll love that. Especially right now when his recruiting process, he'll definitely love that. If he has the time, I'm gonna definitely call him tomorrow morning and tell him to get on here with you, man. Because Coach Ware needs to be outside. I'm gonna be honest with you. He needs to be coaching outside. People don't really know how to understand how smart Coach Ware, especially on the offensive side of the ball. He's really different. Like I give him like once he get his feet back wet outside, and I give him a whole year, he's probably gonna take over.
Absolutely. So I'm kind of curious. Obviously, you've played in the indoor leagues for a couple seasons. You played in the XFL, all these leagues that I mentioned before. Did you ever get any offers to play overseas or in the CFL at any point?
I definitely got offered to play overseas and the CFL. Overseas, I'm gonna be honest with you, Coach Ware told me not to go overseas. He was just like, "Yeah, you're just it's gonna wait." He told me it's gonna waste my time. Honestly, just the talent wasn't as good as at that time. And then my little bro, he plays is William Stanback, the highest paid running back in the CFL right now. So that's my little brother. So I speak to Will all the time. I mean, Will's trying to get me over to Canada right now to come see a game. So we're gonna definitely discuss that within the next few days. And so this just the schedule has just been crazy, man. I don't have the time right now, but we're gonna figure it out. I need to definitely get over there with him to go catch the game.
Absolutely. He's tearing it up as per usual. A great running back up there in the CFL with Montreal. So
I have a funny story about him. Like when we
go
was in
ahead.
high school, he was in ninth grade, and they put him on varsity, and he looked me in the eye the first game and said, "I'm gonna score this kick return." And I looked at him like, "Yeah, go ahead, bro, do it." I'm back in my head. I'm like, "Yeah, all right, bro." They kicked him the ball, 97-yard touchdown, first time ever in high school. Yeah, I said he's out of here. He's gone. Will's
That's awesome.
yeah, he's different. Like a lot of people don't know how different he is. He's just a different breed of animal. He's just a different breed. But yeah.
That's probably a big reason why he's had as much success as he has, because he's unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, he's different. He's just different.
Definitely. So I thought one thing I thought was kind of interesting while I was doing research on your career is you actually spent some time with the Philadelphia Soul in the AFL before it folded, correct?
Yeah, that was like my toughest year of football, because that year of football is the first time in my life. No. The first time I was about to say get cut. I got cut from the Colorado Crush, but they traded me technically. But really, that's the first time in my life I got cut so many times. I was in the AAF, and I just felt, and I felt like I was gonna make the team. Got cut. Boom. Then I went home, kept training. Went to Nebraska Danger with Coach Ware. Boom. And then AFL, Philly, then Albany Empire came and got me. Got cut. Went back to Nebraska. Then Nebraska, and then Philly came. Boom, brought me. I was there for about 2-3 games. Got cut. and then after that, I was like, I'm not leaving again. I just stayed in Nebraska for the rest of the year. And I literally played football the whole year. Literally, I played football for damn near a year straight. I played football all year. Like that was a wild year for me. But yeah, Philly, I enjoyed playing for the Philadelphia. So like the brief time I did, it was very cool. It was interesting. I met some interesting teammates. Especially the reigning MVP. Prince. Prince is that guy, and it's crazy because Prince was like the number 3, number 4 receiver at Philly. That's the craziest thing. But that's why when I speak to guys now, I'm telling them, like, bro, it don't matter where you at right now. Trust me. And Prince is a very perfect example. And Prince was like the number 3 or 4 receiver there. I promise.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. It still blows my mind that he's playing in the indoor league still. I mean, honestly, I don't know why he's not on an XFL or USFL roster somewhere, unless it's his decision. I've never had that conversation with him yet.
I don't think it's, of course, I don't think it's his decision. I just think, like, for me, I look at it like this. Like me, it was a little bit of luck and timing for me. So and I just think that's what his situation was. Like he just haven't had that right luck or timing. Because like I said, it could have been, I could have been still playing arena now, probably. I don't know. But it was, like I said, luck and timing for me. I got seen at the right moment at the right time, and I just blossomed up from there.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
100%. That's actually part of the reason why I wanted to get you on here. Is, I mean, you're a true success story for guys who are coming up out of the arena ranks. A lot of these guys have been told their entire life, you're not good enough to play outdoors, you're not this, you're not that, whatever. Well, guys like you have proven that's not true, that there's ways to make it, especially if you continue to play and continue to get better at every stop that you had. And I think that was the most interesting thing about your story that I really wanted to have you on for is you literally came from the IFL when it was not the league that it is today, by the way. Back then it was a lot smaller. It was not as well known, all of that, not the crowds that it gets today. And then you climbed your way all the way up into the USFL, which is at this point is, in my mind, the second best league next to the NFL. So, I mean, it's just unreal to see how you've climbed from, the indoor ranks out into the outdoor ranks. And honestly, I think it's an inspiration to a lot of guys that are still
Man, thank you. I appreciate it. And honestly, sometimes, and this is going to sound crazy, sometimes, like, when I forget about that process and I feel like I'm getting too high on myself, I literally think about that. Like, literally getting paid $250 a game after tax, making only $198 a week. Just losing my dad right before I started playing, figuring it out. Sleeping on my best friend's couch, still doing what I had to do. Like it was a lot, man. Like, and then sometimes I just like sit back and I just think about how I came up from that process. And that's why it's just certain things that just bother me sometimes with guys when I hear them complaining, and I just be like, I don't even know, bro. You don't even understand. Like, you don't know. And I'm kind of gave a few of my little bros the sauce right now. They're on their way to rising up right now. That's me and Coach Ware talk every day. I send them guys all the time. Like, if I call him directly for those guys, Coach Ware, if they're pretty good, he's gonna bring them in for me. Just because I'm giving them that hope. And at the end of the day, I can't play for you, but at the end of the day, you just got to do what you got to do, and shine when you have to shine, and then never be satisfied. You have to just dominate. And I explained that to the boys. Like I said, listen, man, if you're not dominating, if you're not killing in the arena league, like don't even think you're coming here. And if you do get here, it's because of a coach that knows you, or literally like you just get somebody seeing you at the right place at the right time. But in order to alleviate all that pressure of your mind and body, go dominate, like literally dominate. Like you got to look different out there. You can't look like everybody else out there. You just can't.
100%.
Yeah,
And there's guys that dominate for years and don't make it out. It's some of it is a lot of luck and timing, like you said. Sometimes it takes the right person seeing you at the right time, like you said. Which, I mean, that was perfectly worded. So obviously, kind of cool fact is you've played for the Soul and you now have played for the Stars, the last two alternative football teams to represent the city of Philadelphia. Right. So you're uniquely equipped to answer this question. How do you think the city of Philadelphia will receive the Stars when they eventually do get to play a game there?
I'm from New York, but I'm going to speak good on Philly right now. Philly is an amazing place for sports. Philly fans love sports. They're actually like crazy fanatics, like crazy. So I think it'll be great. I hope the Stars actually get the opportunity to move to Philadelphia. I really do, because the fans there is nuts. Like I think they said they had the Philly fans as the worst fans. To me, worst fans mean the craziest best fans. So the worst fans in sports, like they're like the roughest fans. Like I'm from New York, so I think we have the best fans, But nah, Philly fans are definitely nuts. Like matter of fact, I remember when I signed to Philly and my first game, I got dressed, my home game, and before the game, we do signings with the kids, and it was like people just saying like coming to me like, hey Sean, I remember. I'm like looking at them like, man, how you know that? Like it's just so intriguing. But Philly fans is good, and of course for me, Philly has some, definitely has some good food in Philly. So, that's always a plus for sure.
There you go. I love it. I love that thought process. So a couple more questions before I let you get out of here. But you're obviously a veteran of the game. You've been playing for a long time. How many years do you have left in you?
I kind of do the. When Peyton Manning used to say he just go year by year, and I just figure out then how my body feels and how I feel. Like, I just really feel like I got a lot in the tank, especially after last year not playing as much as I usually do. I just feel like this is like my redemption year. I'm coming. I'm gonna be myself, but I'm coming a lot different this year, especially on the mental aspect and physically. I'm just gonna transform and just be a beast this year for sure. And I have to be. I'm very appreciative of the new beginnings for sure. Like a lot of new teammates, a lot of new faces, and I just need to go in there and just showcase myself every day and be a leader that I have always been my whole life.
So, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously in 2024 you get to play for Ray Horton and his son Jaron. How amazing will it be for you to play for a legend of the NFL?
It hasn't really, to be honest, it hasn't really soaked in yet. I'm gonna be honest with you. It just hasn't soaked in. Like everybody hates that about me. Like, they're like, oh, how do you feel about this? I'm like, I'm not gonna feel it until I get there. It's like that's just how I am. Like, because I'm my thought process right now is thinking about how I'm gonna, get better every day up until that time. I haven't really been thinking about, how I feel about playing for that coach yet. Not yet, but when the moment comes, we could definitely revisit that, But I'm very excited, for, like I said, to join the organization. I've really watched the Maulers develop. I remember going from the first year saying like I would never play for them because of their record, and then now I'm playing for them. They've always had a great defense. Their offense is getting better and better, literally every day as we speak. So I'm like I said, I'm just really excited, to go to an organization that, somewhere that I wanted and needed, But like I said, like once I really get to know him and, understand him, then the excitement will get there for sure.
Absolutely. That's completely fair. I mean, I'm sure you haven't spent much, but maybe a couple phone conversations with him so far.
I got a question for you because you kind of like took me back today. Like,
Okay.
so how many? This is gonna sound so crazy. How many coaches from both leagues that have I been associated with in the USFL, XFL? Because there's some coaches that I have like in the XFL that I didn't know I was associated with, or or GMs or something like. I know Randy, I know Jose. Like Vegas is still like I'm still trying to figure out who you were referring to in Vegas.
Joey Clinksales, the DPP,
Where was he at?
LA Wildcats.
Oh yeah, he was there. You know why? Because the LA is the only team that's still kind of blurred to me because I was only there for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I got there, it was like I've met our OC Chin. It was just a lot going on, like literally, like
Yep.
it was moving so fast. It was like boom, boom, boom. Like it was
Hey,
just like they and if they remember me, they know like I used to be downstairs in that lobby at like 6 in the morning in my playbook because I was still on New York time. So I was up
gotcha.
at 6 while everybody was sleeping. I was just getting that playbook. And I
That's
think
awesome.
Chen seen me one day. He was just like, "Hey, listen, man, listen. I like to run the ball. I know you're a great run blocker. We need to run the ball." And that was it. Like they just had me in my playbook, and I was catching on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's just that's the only thing that's a blur. Like it's sometimes there's players I was playing against. I'm like, "Dang, you play for the Wildcats?" I'm like, "Dang." It's crazy. It's just crazy how that goes, but. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see. Like now, you got me thinking. Like, how many coaches are someone that I've been, that have we've crossed paths, ever since my time in arena all the way up to now. That's interesting. That's like super interesting.
It's
'Cause
gonna be a lot.
I would like to see like if you could like look that up one day and say, look, Sean, these are all the guys. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Now, just to think about that is wild to me. Like of course, I can't forget Jose Jefferson. Definitely can't forget Randy Mueller. I'm
Mm-hmm.
being again, like if it wasn't for Randy, I probably would never even got that opportunity. I'm being honest with you. Like Randy is just, yeah, like Randy could have been stopped texting me. Could have been, like what a lot of these guys usually do. Like these DPP general manager guys. A lot of those do that, and I get it. They get overwhelmed with calls and texts every day. But nah, not Randy. Like I could text Randy now. Randy, if he'll text me back within the next few days for sure. For
I believe
sure.
it.
Yeah, Randy's just a different guy. Like he's just wired different. And a lot of people don't know, like Randy, like everybody see Randy, oh, he's so nice and he's so like Randy does not play no games. Like
Nope.
Randy, like I remember in the AF when Randy used to literally like we figured out his rhythm. We like, okay, if Randy come over here today, that means somebody getting cut today. Like Randy, Randy one day was watching our O-line drills, and he just watching regular. He don't lick no face. Got his hand in his pocket, white hair. He just sitting there. And then all of it, he'll just walk away and get on the phone. I'm like, damn, somebody cut. Like that's how it was. Like I'm like, Randy is like a quiet grim reaper. Like he's a nice guy, but when it comes to his profession, like he knows what he's talking about. Like he really knows what he's talking about. Like there's so many guys like, oh, he's a GM, but he doesn't really know. Now Randy knows football, and this is a unique thing about Randy. And I hope Randy hears this. I figured out Randy's like formula in camp. So when Randy assigns guys in camp, Randy basically gets two of you. So what I mean by that, like he'll find someone, if you play receiver, right? He'll find someone with the same dimensions as you, damn near do the same thing as you, and then when you get to camp, it's like a identical person almost. So in camp, his camps is always super competitive. I think we should do like an analysis on all the GMs in these leagues, and I'm pretty sure he's top 3 most competitive in camp. Those camps is most competitive because there's so many people at that camp that's similar.
I
Like he
believe
don't
it.
like he's not like Randy's not bringing in no slapdicks. Like excuse my language. He's not bringing in nobody that's like no. He's bringing in quality. Like he's literally going down the list and he's like, okay, oh yeah, these guys. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm telling you, identical.
I
You be
believe
at
it.
camp like, dang, like he plays just kind of like me. And you like, so then it just makes you up your game. Like, yeah, nah, Randy is and it's crazy is I don't even know if Randy noticed he does that. Like, I noticed that he does that. And then I noticed he did it because I had a conversation with another guy that plays for his team now, and we talk about it all the time. And I'm like, bro, did you notice? Did you notice that did Randy brings in the same guys like that's just like you? And then we was talking. He was like, bro, that's crazy. You're not lying. Like, yeah, same height, damn near, speed. You're like, so when you get in camp, it's either you're gonna quit because you just can't take it, or you just gonna push yourself beyond the limits.
Hey, that makes perfect sense to me. I mean, if you know what you need in a player or a role you're trying to fill, you know, I mean, it's kind of cutthroat, obviously, but that's what makes him one of the best, right? I mean, unfortunately,
Randy is a different guy, man. I'm sorry. I know probably a lot of GMs out there like, man, Sean, I'm sorry. Like, I got to give it to Randy. Randy's just different, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Randy's just different. Like, I would love to really see if we could do that one day and put who has the most competitive camp. And not trying to say like, oh, who's gonna beat each other up in camp. It's just you just see the talent there. Like, what I mean by competitive is when you can go to camp and you got 3 groups and all 3 groups or damn near 2 groups and a half, you can't really figure out who can start. That's a good camp. That's a competitive. I mean, everybody just, you know, and that's why you start to rotate guys, see who could play other positions on that, you know, as a, like, you know, who could play a receiver, who could play, you know, not just the Y or the X. But it's like an O-line. Now, if you just can't play left tackle, right tackle, or right guard, left guard. And, you know, the biggest trick on the O-line is if you could play center and both guards. Like, if you could do that, you're damn near going to make the team. I promise you. So. Oh yeah, no. Like, for sure. No, for sure. Like, I think if I would have got a little better at center then, I would have definitely been there. I was okay at center. I just didn't have the knowledge at the time at center. And I literally got cut at the last hour. Like, the last hour I got cut. Randy looked me right in my eye and said, man, we didn't want to cut you, man. We, you know, it's just so many of you guys, and on top of that, we're bringing in a linebacker. We got to bring in a linebacker, you know. It was a good camp. It wasn't like it was that was like a very competitive camp, you know. But like I said, Randy just does things differently. Randy's a different guy, man. I really respect and appreciate Randy for sure. Like, for sure. Like, definitely.
I believe it. I mean, hey, he basically gave you your first opportunity outdoors, right?
Yeah, definitely did. To this day, I don't even know how. I'm gonna ask him one day, like, how did I land in Salt Lake? I don't even know how I landed in Salt Lake. I really don't, because it was so many myths and rumors that, you know, people were going places according to their schools and where they lived or something like that. I didn't make sense. Like, I went to Mississippi Valley State. You would have thought I went to play for Memphis, at least, but I ended up going to Salt Lake.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was wondering about that myself. I was looking at all the different schools because they had a whole list of the allocations, and I'm like, Mississippi Valley, like, what happened here? But hey, I mean, if he liked you, I guess he found a way.
But I'm so happy because I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't care what nobody says, that Salt Lake team had the best D-line I've ever played against, practicing with in my life. People forget, like, Chris Odom, defensive MVP of the USFL, was on that team. You had Silver, the D tackle that played for the Patriots. I won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Then you had Mike. I don't want to miss Mike Panuni. Purcell. Yeah. Mike plays right now for the Broncos.
Yep.
Arch D tackle for the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Who else on that? And then we had the other defensive end. I forgot his name. White kid. He led the league in sacks that year in the AAF. Like, he retired too early though. Like, he played and then he tried to come back out, and then he just couldn't wait no more, and then he just retired. It was that
Darius Hamilton.
Is that him, the white kid? I don't remember his name. I don't remember him.
Or Carter Schultz.
Was it? I think it was Carter Schultz.
Okay.
Carter Schultz. Yeah, he was leading the league in the AAF in sacks. And I'm gonna be honest with you, in camp, I thought he was like the weakest D lineman. He's just a gamer. And that's what made me realize like it's some guys who really just are gamers. But that D line, like especially like with Silver, like Silver brought me to the side one day. He said, "Listen, bro, you honestly could be the best O lineman here. You just got to work on this right here." Like as a D lineman, he brought that to me. Like Silver was different, and that's what I learned. Like playing against Polys and Simone's are very different. Like super strong. Like Mike is the nicest guy before he puts that helmet on. Like Mike is the nicest guy. Like he put that helmet on, he like bumping me in practice. Like yeah, he's different. And Mike was probably the first guy I ever went against, what I ever been against, and he just never stopped. Like he never stopped. Like he has a counter after a counter after a counter, and he's still pursuing to the quarterback. Different guy, like different guy. To this day, I'm like, man, like I really thank those guys. Like yeah, awesome. and I really hope Chris Odom gets back to Chris Odom form after he tore his ACL with the Browns. Like Chris Odom is another different guy. He has so many tools in the toolbox. Chris Odom is elite. He could definitely start in the NFL for sure.
100%.
And he has
Speaking of which, are you recruiting him to Pittsburgh?
No, I'm not doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not doing anything right now. I'm just sitting here and I'm just enjoying, enjoying the festivities right now. I just signed, and I'm still new to the game. I mean, not new to the game, but new to the team. So I don't really know. I mean, if I have a conversation with coach and we discuss some things, but I didn't even know his contract situation. I don't know. And I still have Chris Odom number. I'll probably reach out to him, see what he's doing. I thought he was still, with the Browns. I didn't know if they released him or what happened.
As far as I know, it was an injury settlement. I would have to look back. But as of right now, I believe he's still a free agent unless something's changed. I saw him posting about it a little while back on Twitter. He said he had offers from XFL and USFL teams who hadn't made a decision yet.
Yeah, he's going to get signed. He's out of here.
Oh, yeah. That's only a matter of time.
Yeah, he's out of here. Like Chris is not only a great football player. Chris is probably one of the best gamers out here. I don't know if you know, but Chris is a super gamer for sure.
Really?
Super. I mean, I'll let him tell you one day once we get on the show. But Chris is a phenomenal gamer for sure.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. So my last question for you tonight is one that you kind of touched on earlier. Mm-hmm. You said you kind of wanted to stay involved with the game even after you're done. Right. What will we eventually see you doing after your playing career? I mean, are you going to be in broadcasting, coaching, something like that?
I don't know. I mean, I went to school for PR and marketing, so it'd probably be some type of broadcasting. Coaching. I'm not really in love with coaching. I'm not really in love with coaching. I like the development of a player, like on a trainer aspect, training young offensive linemen and stuff like that. But who knows though, man? I mean, you never know. I might even have a background role in the front office somewhere. You never know. I actually like that too. I definitely like that. If they ever offer me a job, in that back office somewhere, definitely I'll probably take that for sure.
There you go. I could see you building a team for sure. That'd be interesting.
Oh yeah, I would love to be a GM. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope Randy hears this. I'm still in the Randy Mueller method. I promise you that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Randy's different. But we need to definitely sit. I really want to know like how many coaches, people I've been across, even players that I played with within the last all the leagues I played in.
He's probably 90% of both leagues, quite honestly.
That's so crazy. Like you really have me like I'm pondering now. I'm like, dang, like.
Well, I mean, just on the Wildcats. I mean, and granted, we're just talking XFL, USFL, but on the Wildcats, you had Martin Bayless, Joey Klingsales, and Ty Knott. And Ty Knott's over in Seattle. He was the tight ends coach. So I mean,
I didn't even know Coach Knott was over there. See, look, I didn't even know he was in Seattle. That's crazy. I didn't even know he was over there. That's nuts.
And honestly, I'd have to look at the Team 9 coaching staff because I'm sure it wasn't just Andrews that was there. I'm
trying to figure out where my old O-line coach from the LA Wildcats went.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, he was a dog in the NFL. Dog.
Jerry Fontenot. That makes sense. He played for a long time for the Saints.
Yes. I wonder where he's at now.
As of according to Wikipedia, nowhere right now, which is too bad.
He needs a job. I need 3 places right now he can go coach O-line at right now.
I'm sure several places could use him. Then, I mean, if you want to talk European League of Football, man, that Wildcat staff, like the rest of them, are over in Europe right now. Otis Smith, Norm Chow, Mike Wilson, they're all with the Helvetic Guards over the ELF.
Crazy.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Like literally, across the board, you've probably worked with a coach on most.
I'm really upset about that team because, like I said, I didn't really get to really know everyone like I wanted to. And that coaching staff is probably the most stacked coaching staff I've ever been on in my life, as far as NFL coaches mixed with NFL players. People even forget who my quarterback was in LA. He's still playing in the league right now. Josh.
Oh, Josh Johnson, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Josh is internal. Josh is gonna play football when my kids when I have kids.
I could see it.
Josh is crazy. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Josh is one of the first people I met when I got to LA. Josh is definitely a different type of dude. Cool dude, too, a real true leader too.
100%. There's a good reason why he's in the NFL, and honestly, his career is crazy too.
He played for like what, 18 teams, 20 teams, something like that, something crazy.
Yeah, and basically every league that's existed since 2012. So yeah, he definitely needs to be. There needs to be like a 30 for 30 on his career at some point.
Yeah, that'll be crazy. Yeah,
I feel the same way about your career, quite honestly. I mean,
I'm up for it if we can have that conversation. Definitely up for it. We could definitely talk about that for sure.
There you go. Well, I won't keep you too much longer, man. I really appreciate your time. This has been a very entertaining conversation, and I mean, if you're interested, I would love to have you back again at some point.
Oh yeah, definitely. We could definitely set something up. I really enjoyed this interview for sure.
Glad to hear it.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.